All right. So on your back, melt down, get comfy. Let's take a deep breath in and a clearing breath out. Another one just like that. Big inhale through your nose and out your mouth. Good, and closing your mouth now, continue to take nice deep breaths in and out through your nose at your own time. And start to land here on your mat, your sacred space, just for you. And thank yourself for showing up tonight. Showing up is 90% of it. It's often the hardest part is just beginning. Or carving out this time for yourself, to give yourself this gift of self-love. Let's take 3 more healing breaths. Filling up your belly, your low back. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe rock your head side to side. And we're going to hug one knee into our chest. Give it a big squeeze. And think about your other leg. Keep it nice and engaged and long. Reaching your toes up towards the sky. And feeling the length in your hip flexor. It's rather tight with all the sitting we do day to day. And then slowly engage your core and bring your other foot to the ground. And extend their top foot up to the sky. And you can grab behind the thigh or the calf or maybe even your toes, depending on how open you are right now. And let's just find that gentle stretch in your hamstrings. And you can lower this bottom leg again if that is available to you. And then start to roll your ankle. Make big circles. And then rotate the other way. And then see if you can pull your foot a little bit closer to your head. Being mindful that you're not going too deep into the stretch. We're still warming up. Good. And we're going to bend that bottom knee again if it's straight. And we'll flex our top foot and cross our ankle over our knee. Reaching through in a figure 4 for a nice stretch in your glutes now. Try to relax your head and your shoulders on the floor. And you just bring your foot in towards your chest for a nice stretch. Maybe you give yourself a little rock side to side. Invite some movement or stillness, whatever you need in this moment. And then slowly lowering both feet to the floor. We're going to stretch our other leg nice and long and hug your other knee into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And again, engaging that bottom leg nice and long. Your thigh pointing up towards the sky. And maybe feeling a gentle stretch in your hip flexor as you lengthen through your hip. Breathe into the space you want to create. And then we're going to gently lift our leg up towards the sky, grabbing behind our thigh or calf or even your toes. And you can bend that bottom leg if that gives you a little bit more space in the shape. And start to roll your ankle, make nice big circles. Maybe your ankle cracks like mine. It's all right, just the air pockets in your joints, working their way out. Let's lubricate those joints with movement. Good, and maybe bring your foot a little bit closer towards your head, finding a nice stretch in your hamstrings. And being mindful never to lock your knee, keep it softly bent. And then let's bend that bottom leg, place your foot on the ground, and cross your ankle over your knee. Reach through for that figure 4 stretch. Relaxing your head and your shoulders on the ground. Breathing into any tightness and giving it permission to let go. Maybe rocking gently side to side. That feels good for you. Oof, my glutes are super tight tonight. Using our powerful breath to give our body permission to relax and release. Good, and then gently bringing both feet to the ground. We are going to hug both knees into our chest now and give yourself a nice rock side to side, massaging out your low back. And we're going to bring our legs to an upside down tabletop. So have your knees bent at 90 degrees. And you can have your hands to the side or gently behind your head. We're just going to do a little bit of core work tonight, nothing fancy. What's really important is you keep a nice neutral spine, so you don't want your back arching when you start to do these motions. And we're just going to gently bring our right leg down, tap your heel, and then bring it back up. And then left leg down and back up. So you're nice and controlled, one leg at a time. And if this is too easy for you, if you need a greater challenge, you straighten your legs. And same thing, one leg down, tap your heel, back up, down, back up. All right, so you can stay here. Next level is you bring your shoulder blades off the floor. Use your breath. Make sure you're not pulling on your head, but you're using your core to lift your shoulder blades up. You can keep those straight legs, or at any time, always come back to that bent knee position if it feels better for your back. Good, next level, last level, if you want to push yourself, is we're going to start adding our upper body, and you're going to twist shoulder towards the leg that's up. Twist, so doing bicycles with control, intentional. Try to stay in that straight line. Make sure you're not pulling on your head, use your core. Now we're just going to do 10 more. 10, breathe, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you can do it, 3, 2, and 1. Press your head down, hug your knees in, give yourself a big squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side. Good, and we're gonna find our way into tabletop on our hands and knees. The fun way is you can grab behind your knees and start to rock and roll on your spine. If this doesn't feel good to you, you can get there however you want. Or do a few more rock and rolls, keeping your chin tucked into your chest so you protect your head. And when you're ready, come all the way through onto your hands and knees. We're gonna do some cat cows. Awaken our spine. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head, your tail. Breathe out. Inhale. Moving with your breath. Nourishing your spine. Do 2 more just like this. And then maybe if it feels good, you can go side to side or make circles. What does your body need right now? Take 2 more cycles of breath. And on your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to reach our right leg long behind us. Left arm floats forward. That's it. Engaging your core again. Let's inhale, reach a little longer. And exhale, bring your elbow and knee together to touch. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. One more. Big reach. And then exhale, lower. Finding that stability and balance. Let's come to the other side. So left leg kicks behind you, keeping your hips nice and square. Float your right arm forward. Nice. Inhale, reach nice and long. Exhale, bring your elbow and knee together to touch. Good. Inhale, reach. Bring the back of your neck to the sky. Exhale, squeeze. Good. Inhale, nice and long. How can you relax? Exhale, squeeze. Last one, big inhale. And exhale, lower. Good. From here, we're going to rotate our right foot out perpendicular and bring your left foot to the back of your mat and left palm comes forward slightly. We're going to inhale into a modified side plank. An option here, if you're really feeling strong today, is to take that bottom leg and bring it to your feet as well for a full side plank. Wherever you are, lift your left hip up towards the sky. Take 2 more deep breaths, no rush. And if you're in a full side plank, bring that knee down and come back to your tabletop. We're coming right into the other side. Rotate your left foot out. Right foot comes to the back of your mat. Maybe your left hand moves forward slightly. Big inhale, modified side plank. And if you did so on the other side and you're feeling it, really push that back foot down into the mat and then lift that bottom foot to come into a full side plank. Bring your right hip up towards the sky. Feeling strong. You're looking awesome. Take 2 more breaths, no rush. You got this. You can always come back to modified at any time. And then lowering that knee if it's up and come back into your tabletop. Bring your knees wide, feet together, and back into child's pose. Good. Take 5 breaths here. Sinking your hips down. Let go of anything that's just bubbled up. And breathe it down into the floor. Good. On your next inhale, bring yourself up, spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes, and lift up and back into a downward facing dog. Take a moment to bend one knee at a time and walk out your dog, inviting any movement that you need in your body here, stretching out those calves. And then also be mindful of your shoulders and your wrists. So relaxing the shoulders down and making sure you're pressing firmly into your thumbs and pointer fingers to take pressure out of your wrists. And when you're ready, let's find a little stillness here. Keep your knees slightly bent and then reach your tailbone a little higher. Good. Pressing your pointer finger and thumb down into the mat, and then maybe reaching your heels towards the floor. Take one more big inhale, and exhale out your mouth. Okay, we're gonna inhale, look towards our fingers. Exhale, bend your knees, and then walk carefully to the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold with feet hip width apart, maybe grabbing opposite elbows. Just letting your head hang down towards the floor. Let that go. Relax your head, shake it yes and no. Feel free to bend your knees a lot here and just let your torso hang over your thighs. Really using gravity just to traction out your spine. Lots of space in there. Inversions are such a wonderful thing. This is one of our simplest of inversions. Anytime your heart is below, or sorry, your head is below your heart. And when you're ready, we're going to bend our knees a lot and start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. Bring yourself up to stand. Rolling your shoulders back when you get to the top. And stay here for a moment in mountain pose. Knees are soft, shoulders roll down and back. The crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. Maybe close your eyes and go inward. How do you feel in your body right now? No judgment, just observe the areas of warmth, of openness. Maybe noticing spaces that are a little bit stuck or tight. Become aware of this beautiful body that you have that carries you through life. And how blessed we are to have these amazing bodies. And when you're ready, then gently open your eyes and find a spot on the floor of the wall in front of you that's not moving. We're going to start to shift our weight into our left foot and bring your right foot behind you. Come up onto your toes. Good. Hands come down your heart. Engage your core. And start to tip forward. And maybe this right leg starts to reach behind you. Coming into warrior 3. Good. Keep those hips square to the ground. That's it. You can do it. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, hold. And then spot the ground behind you. And like a ninja, slowly bring your right foot back into a high lunge. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, soften down, bending into that front knee. Good. We're going to inhale, bring your left hand down and back and twist over that left knee. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, left hand comes down and back, twist. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. This time, exhale, right hand down towards the mat and left arm up towards the sky. Gentle twist. You can stay here with your knee lifted or lower your knee to the ground, whatever makes you happy. Good. If your knee is down, great. If it's lifted, lowered, so we're going to inhale, rise both arms up with your knee on the ground. Exhale, sink down into that hip flexor. Nice. We're going to take off, grab your right wrist and inhale up and over to the left, opening up through the whole right side of your body. Breathing into your hip flexor and your ribs. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Engage your back leg and step back into your downward facing dog or child's pose for 3 breaths. Breathe that out. And if you're in child's pose, come into down dog. And then we're going to inhale, ripple forward into a high plank. You can have your knees lifted or lowered. And then exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. And inhale, baby cobra. Lift your chest off the ground. Exhale, lower down. And push back into child's pose for a breath. And then up into our downward facing dog. And inhale, look towards your fingers. Exhale, bend your knees and then step or hop to the top of your mat. And we're going to inhale, halfway lift. So hands can come to shins. You straighten your back. Find length. Exhale, fold. Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last one, big inhale. Exhale, fold. Root your feet, and we're going to inhale, rise all the way up, look towards your fingers. And exhale, let those hands come down through heart center into your sides. All right, coming into our other side. So you're going to shift your weight into your right foot, bring your left foot slightly behind you on your toes. Hands come to heart. We're going to start to hinge forward and see if we can float our left foot up behind us into warrior 3. That's it. Square those hips down, maybe dropping your left hip slightly. See if you can lift your left foot a little bit higher. Bring the back of your neck high to the sky. Finding that focal point or drishti, a place that's not moving, to help you with your balance. You got this. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hold here. And spot the ground behind you. Inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down your back foot, back toes to the ground. Inhale, arms lift up towards the sky into a high lunge. And exhale, sink down into that front knee. Relax your shoulders. And inhale here. So nice, engaged back leg. What can you relax? What can you release? And on your next inhale, or exhale rather, your right arm's going to come down and back. Twist over that front leg. Okay, inhale, lift up. Exhale, right hand comes down and back. Twist, use your core. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right arm back, twist. Good, inhale, lift, nice and high. This time, exhale, left hand down towards the ground and right arm up towards the sky. You can keep that back knee lifted or let it lower down towards the ground if you prefer, whatever feels good for you. Nice deep breaths here. What can you relax? Good. Your knee is lifted, lower to the ground, and inhale, both arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, sink down into that hip. This time grabbing our left wrist, inhale up and over to the side, getting right into that hip flexor and the side body. Find length in your torso. What can you let go of? Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Engage that back leg. Step back into your downward facing dog or child's pose for 3 breaths. If you're in child's pose, come into down dog. We're going to inhale, ripple forward into a high plank, and then exhale, lower down to the ground. Maybe your knees come down first. And we're going to lift up into a full cobra this time. So inhale, lift, keeping your hips nice and heavy on the ground. Bring your chest up nice and high, shoulders down. You can keep your elbows bent. And then think about pulling yourself forward and up. Take one more breath. And then exhale, lower down. Push back in child's pose. Bringing your knees wide. Option to have your hands forward or maybe by your ankles if that feels good for you. Or option 3, you can bend at your elbows and bring your hands behind the back of your head. And for a nice tricep stretch. Take 2 more breaths here. And walk those hands forward. And we're just going to stay on our knees, but lift our hips. Toes tucked or not. And we're going to start to walk our hands forward into a puppy dog. Right? So our hips stay high, and you're going to start to melt your heart down to the ground. Maybe you tent your fingertips to get a little bit more space. You can bring your forehead down to the floor if it's comfortable getting there. Start to breathe into your shoulders. It's such a lovely shoulder stretch. Take one more breath. And start to walk your hands back into shoulder width for a down dog. Lift those hips up and back. Good. And we're going to inhale, right leg high towards the sky for a 3-legged dog. Bend your knee and then open up your hips to the right side of the room. Can you bring your knee a little higher? And keep equal weight in both your hands. Good. Inhale, stretch that leg long. Square your hips. And exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. And see if you can step your foot between your hands. Turning your back foot into a warrior 2 position. And then inhale, let those arms come up and drop into warrior 2. So adjust your feet as needed. Your front heel intersects your back foot. Relax those shoulders down. See if you can bend into that front knee and open up your knee to the side so you can see your big toe. Good. Turn your front palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Maybe bend in your elbow, grab behind your head, and open up even more through your heart. Good. Inhale, lengthen through that front leg. Reach your right arm forward. Start to reach forward, hinging from your hip here. And then let your front hand come to your shin. Triangle pose. So you really want to feel like you're pushing in this right hip. So you have a nice long spine. And ice cream scoop that right hip underneath. So you can really rotate your heart up towards the sky. Your gaze is down towards your foot, to the side of the room, or up towards your fingertips. Whatever works for your neck. Good. Inhale, bend into that front knee. Lift up into warrior two. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down towards the mat. Step back into your downward facing dog. And we're going to inhale, left leg high to the sky this time. Bend your knee and then open up to your hips. Equal weight in both your hands. See if you can lift your knee a little higher. Then inhale, lengthen through that leg, square your hips. Exhale, bend your knee to your nose and step your foot between your hands. Rotate your back foot down to the ground and cartwheel those hands up into warrior two. Adjust your feet as needed. Sinking down and into your front knee and have that front knee open up to the side so you see those big toes. Good. Turn your front palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Bending that elbow feels good and opening up through your heart. Bending that front knee a little bit more. Nice. We're going to inhale, lengthen through your front leg. Reach your left arm forward. Hinging into that left hip. And let your left arm come down to your thigh. Triangle pose. So again, ice cream scoop your left hip underneath. Really try and lengthen your spine. And let your gaze come down to your foot, to the side or up towards your fingers. As long as it feels good in your neck. Nice deep breaths here. And you're going to give yourself a little bend in that front knee and inhale, lift up into warrior two. This time we're going to turn both feet towards the long edge of your mat. Let your hands come to your hips. Inhale, open up through your chest. And exhale, lead with your chin. Wide leg forward fold. Come on down. Relaxing your head to the floor. We're going to inhale, bring yourself halfway up, bring your right hand right below your heart. Exhale here. Then inhale, left arm up towards the sky for a nice twist through your thoracic spine. Good. Inhale, lift a little higher. Then exhale, release down, replacing your right hand with your left. And inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, lower. And let's bend into our knees a little bit. Inhale, hands to your hips. Exhale, lift all the way up. Then give yourself a little heel toe together. And step to the top of your mat. And give yourself a little shake. Let that go. And from here, we're going to shift our weight into our left foot. Bend your right knee and see if you can grab your right ankle. Coming into a quadricep stretch. So finding that focal point, that place that's not moving, and look. Find your balance. Keeping your knees energetically squeezing towards each other. You can stay here in this nice stretch, or you come a little bit deeper. You can flex your foot, reach your left arm high. Start to kick your foot into your hand. Feel more stretch come to the front of your thigh and your hip. And then maybe start to tip forward, really pushing your foot into your hand for dancer's pose. And take one more breath. Exhale here. And then inhale, bring yourself back to that quad stretch. And you're going to let go of your foot, but don't drop it. And float your knee up in front, grab your knee. And you can stay here holding your knee, or take your peace fingers with your right hand, grab your big toe, and kick your foot out in front of you. Stay nice and tall, really rooting down through that left foot. You got this. One more breath. And then exhale, releasing your foot down. Shake it out. And we're going to come right into the other side, no expectations. Shift your weight into your right foot. Grab your left ankle for quad stretch. Keeping those knees energetically squeezing towards each other. Hips are squared forward. Chest is squared forward. Stay here in this nice stretch. Or perhaps you flex your foot, put your right arm long, and start to kick your foot into your hand for more of a stretch. Stay here, or start to tip forward and come into dancer's pose, really kicking your foot into your hand and getting a bit of a back bend here. So option to come into any of those expressions of this shape, whatever feels good in your body. Remember, yoga is a feeling, not a shape. Nice deep breaths. Oh, hi, Ruth. Can you say hi? Here's the side, everybody. Nice deep breaths. Take one more big inhale, nice balance. Exhale here. Bring your knee down if it's up. And then we're going to let go of our foot. Don't drop it. And you see you bring your knee up in front, grab your knee. Stay here, staying nice and tall and rooted. Or take your left peace fingers and bring them around your left big toe. There's the balance. And kick your foot out in front. Nice long spine. You got this. Maybe lift the corners of your mouth, as my old instructor used to say. There it is, more big inhale. And exhale, bend your knee, lower your foot to the ground. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. We're going to inhale our hands behind our back. Interlace your fingers, open up through your chest. You can stay here, a nice chest opener, or you can fold forward if that feels good for you, and let your arms hang over top. Wherever you are, bringing your hands to your low back, coming into a forward fold, and letting your hands come down towards the ground. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog, or to a tabletop, whatever feels good for you. Let's inhale, right leg high towards the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your right wrist, preparing for pigeon, and letting your back leg reach nice and long. So pigeon, there are a couple options, and if this doesn't feel good for you, I'll show you another one as well. So if you're quite tight like I am, you can keep your toes pointed and legs sort of tucked in. But you want to square your hips to the ground. And sometimes it helps to have a prop underneath your hip to help your hips stay square. Okay? Just got to make sure you're mindful of this means. If you're more open here, you can flex your foot, bring your shin parallel to the top of your mat, and now you're in a little bit deeper of a stretch. If neither of these works for you, you can come to this bent knee position, but your back leg is also going to bend, at 90 degrees at your hip and 90 degrees at your knee. Right, this is a deer pose. Whichever shape you choose, let's square ourselves to the front of your mat and start to lift up and then walk yourself forward. Maybe coming down to your elbows, maybe finding a prop under your forehead. And breathe into your right hips. Choose what's right for you. And we're going to spend about a minute here, so really sink down. Breathe into the shape. And when you're ready, we're going to start to walk ourselves back up, engaging that back leg, and come back into your down dog or tabletop. And take a moment to shake out that leg if that feels good for you. We're going to come into the other side. So we're going to inhale, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee and bring your knee towards your left wrist, choosing your pigeon. So again, pointing your toes and keeping your foot tucked in. Or flex your foot and bring your shin to the top side of your mat. Or deer pose, where you bend your hip and your knee to 90 degrees. And wherever you are, square yourself over that front leg. Start to bring yourself down to find a nice stretch coming to your glutes. Maybe you bring your forehead to a prop, or you can stack your fists on top of each other. Come down this way. Choose what shape works for you. And again, we'll spend about another minute here so you can really sink into the shape. Finding that yin energy, down and out energy, melting, surrendering to the shape. Nice deep breaths. You can slowly start to walk your hands back up. Engage your back leg. Step back into your down dog or tabletop. Or child's pose. Whichever works for you. And if you feel like you need a little bit more movement, we can do one more vinyasa, which is that inhale to high plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale back down to child's pose. And when you're ready, we're going to find ourselves on our back. Coming there however you want. And start by hugging our knees into our chest. And you can shift your hips slightly to the left and let your knees drop to the right. So that way it keeps your spine a little bit more straight. And keeping both shoulders on the mat. Coming to this gentle supine twist. Relaxing your shoulders and your hands. And your knees are stacked, but if you want a deeper twist, what you can do is lengthen that bottom leg nice and long, and then you can let your top knee twist a little bit more towards the ground. So whatever feels good for you. Starting to cool down. All the hard work is done. Good. When you're ready, let's slowly, mindfully come back through center. Carefully shift our hips over to the right slightly and let our knees drop to the left. Finding that gentle twist, opening up through your chest. And if you did so on the other side, you can lengthen that bottom leg to come into a deeper twist here. And slowly come back through center. Take a moment here, bring your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees drop together. Both hands come to your belly. So you just balance out your spine after the twist. Breathing into your hands. And we're going to come to a nice gentle inversion here called legs up the wall. So if you have a wall nearby, it's a great prop to use. If you don't, that's okay. You can do this without a wall. What you're going to do is, if you don't have a wall, you're going to place your hands slightly under your sit bones, bend your knees, and then slowly lift your feet up towards the sky. So hopefully having your hands under your hips will help take a little bit of strain off of your hip flexors. As you just let your feet come to rest up in the air. If you have a wall, that's even better. You can scoot your hips all the way to the wall and just let your feet rest against the wall. This is a great shape to be in for your nervous system. Really helps calm you down. Let any stress melt away. What can you let go of? Letting go of any doubt, any fear, anything that's no longer serving you. Invite in joy, invite in peace, invite in love, Everything you need is already inside of you. You just have to let it come out. Feel free to stay here. Or I have one more shape before our final rest. And if you'd like to join me for that, you can gently hug your knees into your chest. Bring your feet down to the ground. And then let your knees fall to the side for a supine butterfly. Letting your hips open and relax. Letting that peace wash over you. And then when you're ready, carefully bring your knees back to center. Maybe let your knees have a little windshield wiper side to side before we stretch out into our final shape, our Shavasana. Let your feet come as wide as your mat. Take up space with your arms. Start to melt your back into the floor. Letting go of any tension. Just letting it sink down into Mother Earth. All the hard work is done. So now bask in the afterglow of our practice. Soak up all the wisdom that we've cultivated in our bodies through our practice. Feel free to stay here for as long as you need. Returning to your breath if you're ready. Starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Returning to your body. Maybe reaching your arms overhead for a big full body stretch. And then hugging your knees into your chest and gently rocking onto one side for a few breaths. before gently coming up to a comfortable seat wherever that might be for you. And bring your hands to your beautiful heart. When you are scared, persist. When you're tired, rest. When you're confused, write. When you're hurt, feel. When you're strong, dare. When you're wise, read. When you're at peace, smile. When you're alive, help. A quote from Robin Sharma. I love this book. Actually. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up tonight, for giving yourself such a beautiful gift in your practice. And fill yourself with gratitude for all the amazing things that exist in this universe. How lucky we are to be part of it. Have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you soon.